I wish it could have been just that we kind of, I don't know, let go of some of that a bit, but instead it's more, okay, we're gonna actually just bring men into some of the worst of it instead. It seems it's kind of happened both ways too. It's equality seems to be men and women are getting each other's worst traits rather than we're all kind of equalizing by each getting kind of better. Like women are, I think about this all the time. I don't think I've tweeted about it yet because I don't really know how to word it quite right. But many of the traits that men complain about in women today are actually women just adopting a lot of the traits men have had for quite a while since the sexual revolution. Um, they're just becoming more selfish, more self-centered, more narcissistic, more sex focused, less committed, less romantic, all these kinds of things. I think women are just kind of racing men to the bottom at this point. They saw that men were, didn't really care a lot about this stuff, particularly if, you grew up in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, men let go of a lot of those things and became like just really rancid. Like going to high school in like the 2000s, 2010s, like it was just rough. Like the way like men would, post revenge porn and they talk about women and talk about them in the most vile ways, like right in front of us all the time. And the way they would just talk about our bodies to our faces, like it was just so aggressive and horrible. And I think women have decided, okay, if you're going to be like that, I'm going to you know, I'm going to join you right down there in that pit of like disgustingness rather than men maybe, becoming a bit more empathetic or a bit nicer, a bit more pro-social. I think instead women are just kind of becoming a bit more antisocial, at least towards their behavior towards men. They're kind of just reflecting that back. And I do believe in some sense that men, at least as the way our society is, has been pretty much always set up and is still set up to some degree now, women are more reflective of kind of what the energy men give them. So there might be a bit of a delay there, but eventually like women do start just kind of reflecting back the energy that men are giving them in return. And that's a big part of why, like on a societal level, but also in like the confines of an individual marriage. And I think this is also supported by like Gottman Institute, is the idea that a good marriage actually depends on like the man's like foundational behavior, because the women just have a tendency to kind of eventually at some point reflect that back. There may be a delay, like I said, but at some point the woman just ends up doing what he's doing. um so I do think in that sense men kind of do lead, and they're leading unfortunately with a lot of really antisocial behaviors, and women are now becoming more antisocial.
Yeah. I mean, this whole, kind of backlash that you're a big part of, or, if I can call it that, is, I feel, a big reflection of kind of what's been going on in these spaces. And, nothing can go on forever unchecked. I mean, everything presents a natural boundary at one point. And, that's kind of what I've been reacting to as well. Like, um, you know, it's not discourse. It's not, there's no novelty in it. It's just
No.
people building like cathedrals of cope to whatever their group chat needs to hear that day. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't think it's a good development. I know a lot of people do not agree with me. It's interesting, kind of what my reaction was to me declaring that it's a bit iffy with our standards of how women are treated in the space. It's kind of the Anton's celebration parallax. Because every time everyone says like, on the left, you have things like immigration, or the replacement, great replacement. It's not happening, but it's good that it is. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah,
tell
yeah.
me, you're not getting backlash. I don't see this on my end, but then at the same time, also you don't belong here, and also it's good that people are telling you to f off. So it's like everybody's got their own celebration parallax. This is just a simple dynamic of how in groups work. Of course, we celebrate the fact that women are hounded but also welcome in on the right.